You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
I'm going to ask if you can pull the microphone closer to you because it will help keep your voice nice and loud. Could you state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Teresa Marchese, Marchese.
Where do you work, ma'am?
Washington, D.C.
For what company?
Tishman Spire.
And what is your role at Tishman Spire?
I'm a managing director in the Human Capital Management Group.
How long have you been with Tishman Spire?
Over 20 years.
When Anna Walshe went missing, a co-worker reached out to help. But phone calls with her husband, Brian Walshe, quickly raised red flags. What began as concern soon turned into a disturbing conversation that didn't add up.
And what are your responsibilities as the director of the Human Capital Management Group?
A variety of areas. We focus on hiring, recruitment, benefits, employee relations, essentially the life cycle of your employment within the company.
And would this touch upon human resources?
Yes.
Now, what is Tishman Spire's business?
Primarily real estate.
I'd like to ask you some questions about Anna Walshe. Are you familiar with Anna Walshe?
Yes.
When did you first meet Anna Walshe?
When I interviewed her in November of 2021.
And what position were you interviewing her for?
She had applied for a role in Boston, regional general manager role there.
And was Ms. Walshe subsequently hired?
Yes.
For what role?
I hired her for a role in Washington, D.C.
And why did you hire her for a role in Washington, D.C.?
We had a role open for quite some time that we were looking for was someone who had a hospitality background, which Anna had, and I thought she would be better suited.
And when was she offered the job in Washington?
She started with us in February 2022 in Boston.
In Boston?
Yeah.
How long was she in Boston for before she transferred to Washington, D.C.?
I believe a month-ish.
Now, in your office space in Washington, and we'll try and let that pass. It's going on. In that office space in Washington, where was Ms. Walsh's desk in relation to yours?
We are in an open floor plan, and so there are 4 seats per quad, I guess. She was about 2 in front of me, I guess.
Now, when she moved to the D.C. area, did you learn where she moved to?
I did.
Where did she move to, roughly?
Friendship Heights.
And what was her compensation when she joined Tishman Spire?
$220,000 base.
And on top of the base, was there a potential for a bonus?
Yes.
Now, did she receive any benefits as a result of becoming a member of Tishman Spire?
Yes.
What did she receive as far as life insurance?
2 times her annual salary.
And what company provided that policy?
We did. MetLife.
MetLife, thank you. Your Honor, at this point in time, the Commonwealth would enter into the policy, the MetLife life insurance policy for Anna Walshe as a stipulated duty.
As Director of Human Capital at Tishman Spire, Teresa Marchese oversaw every stage of employment, from hiring to benefits. She first met Anna Walshe in November 2021 and ultimately hired her for a senior role in Washington, D.C. Citing Anna's strong hospitality background, Anna earned a $220,000 base salary, was eligible for bonuses, and received a company-provided life insurance policy worth twice her annual income, with MetLife as the provider.
All right, we're marking it as 190, the MetLife policy for Anna Walshe. Now in evidence.
190. How much was the life insurance policy for?
2 times her annual base salary.
And are you familiar with who the beneficiaries were of the policy?
Yes.
Who are the beneficiaries?
Her husband and her 3 children.
Now, what were her responsibilities in working at the Washington, D.C. office for Tishman Spire?
She was hired as a co-head of the property management group,
Okay. And so did she have specific properties she had to manage in D.C.?
She spent most of her time with us at the Crossing, but her job was not just that building.
Okay. What other buildings did she have to manage?
Essentially, she had oversight to an extent. She shared it with her counterpart for all of our assets. So there were, honestly, I can't remember at the time how many we have. We're probably 5, 6 now.
Okay. Was there a building called the Mazza Gallery or Galleria?
So Mazza was a development site
Yes.
that we had. It was formerly a mall. Tishman Spire purchased it under the grounds that we would redevelop, turn it into apartments and some retail.
And did she have any interplay? Did she have any responsibilities over that project?
Yes.
And you had earlier stated the Crossing as well?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
What type of building was the Crossing?
The Crossing was a residential apartment building.
Now, in 2022, did the Tishman Spire offices in D.C. close for the New Year's holiday?
Yes. So New Year's, our holiday schedule rotates.
Okay.
But I believe New Year's Eve that year we were closed, or it was a floating holiday.
Okay.
And then New Year's Day we're closed.
Okay. And now, when was it the first day that people returned back to the Washington, D.C. offices, if you know?
January 3rd.
January 3rd.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, while you worked with Ms. Walshe, was there any problems with her as far as her employment?
No.
Were there any safety concerns for her as far as her employment?
No.
Did she require any physical accommodations while she was employed with you?
No.
When was the last time you saw Anna Walshe?
It was December. It was the 15th, perhaps. We had a women's event in the office.
And at this event in December, I take it was 2022?
Correct.
Okay. And what was her demeanor like at this event?
Normal, happy, social.
And did you see any injuries on Ms. Walshe when you were with her that night or that day at the women's event?
No.
Now, when did you first learn that Anna Walshe was missing?
January 4th.
And how were you alerted that Ms. Walshe was missing?
A coworker came over to let me know that her husband had called the Crossing team looking for her.
So with this information, what did you do to try and with this information, what did you decide to do?
I said, I'll reach out to him. Do you have a phone number?
Okay. And what was the name of the person you tried to reach out to?
Brian Walshe.
Now, where did you go to try and reach out to him? Did you call him from your office?
I called him from my cell phone.
Okay. Did anyone did you have anyone with you when you called him?
Yes.
Who was with you when you called him?
The first time I called, Jeff Chod was with me.
Who is Jeff Chod?
At the time, he was the head of our Washington, D.C. office.
And you said you called from your cell phone. About what time did you call Mr. Walshe that morning, January 4th?
Between 10 and 11.
Okay. And did you connect with him?
Yes.
Anna Walshe's life insurance, worth twice her salary, listed her husband and children as beneficiaries. At work, she had no issues and was last seen happy and uninjured in mid-December. When she didn't return after New Year's, her supervisor called Brian Walshe on January 4th to ask for help finding her.
All right. Now I want to ask you about that conversation. What did he tell you in that conversation about Anna Walshe being missing?
So I called, I introduced myself, I let him know who I was, and I just said how, I understand you're looking for Anna, like how can we help?
Okay. And what did he tell you?
He said, So I talked to him multiple times that day.
Certainly.
So I believe in our first conversation, he stated he hasn't seen Anna since the 1st, or New Year's Day. And he was looking for her and wanted to see if any of us had heard from her. And he specifically said, we have only gone 24 hours or more without seeing each other once. And the last time she was, I'm paraphrasing, but annoyed with me for, looking for her too soon.
Okay.
Essentially.
Now, he said he was looking for it. Did he say why he was looking for her in Washington?
Yes. He had said that there was a building emergency that she was called back for.
Were there any building emergencies in Washington, D.C. for the properties that Anna was managing at this point in time in January of 2023?
January of 2020, that date?
Well, between January 1st and January 4th of 2023.
I can confirm on January 1st there was not.
Okay.
I'm not sure about
All right.
2nd, 3rd, 4th.
So, but there were no emergencies on January 1st.
Correct.
Okay. Now, you're having this conversation with him. Do you offer to do anything during this conversation to help?
Yes.
What did you offer?
I had stated, Anna had shared with me where she lives, and it's not too far from my home. I'm happy to go by and just check to make sure she hasn't, fallen.
Now, what was his demeanor like during this first conversation?
He was polite and calm and nice.
And how long was the conversation?
A few minutes.
And after the conversation was over and you had made this offer, what did you do? A coworker, the one who originally told me about the phone call from the crossing team, offered to drive up with me to the house. And so we did that. During the conversation with Mr. Walshe, this first one, did you ask him anything about Anna's mental health?
I did.
And what did you ask?
I asked if she had any mental health issues.
And what did he say?
He said, no, we just had a lovely holiday, New Year's with friends.
So I take it at this point in time, you and the coworker went to Anna's home.
Correct.
And about what time do you think you got to Anna's home?
Between 10:30 and 11:30.
Okay. And again, it's your memory that's controlling. So now, when you got to Ms. Walsh's home, what did it look like from the outside? What observations did you make?
Sure. It's a townhome.
Yes.
And so there were steps up to the front entrance. And so if you walk up the steps and you look on the left-hand side, there was an espresso box that was out, and it was wet.
Okay. So there was a wet Nespresso box, and had it rained recently? Or what's this?
Yeah,
What would have affected? What was the issue of the wet Nespresso box?
On Monday and Tuesday it had rained, but on Wednesday it had not. So that led me to believe Anna had not been out of her home.
Okay. So
that day or before.
And I'm sorry I interrupted you. So you see this. Do you have any further conversations with Mr. Walshe at this point in time?
Yes. So I notified him about the box. I saw a Google camera, like a doorbell camera or just a camera. And I asked him if he had access to it to check the records.
Did he have any access to it?
He said Anna is the tech one in the family. He does not handle that stuff.
And did you ask him about how to try and get inside the house?
So I remember I believe I turned the doorknob and I told him it was locked. And I looked in the window because there's a glass panel.
Yes.
And just to see if it looked like anything was broken into, and it didn't. The house was pretty immaculate.
Okay.
And so I walked down the steps, and there was a garage there, and he said, I have the garage code if you can check.
So were you able to get into the garage with the code?
Yes.
What did the garage look like?
The garage was pretty clean as well. There were a few boxes and a painting.
And was there a car in there?
In their first call, Brian Walshe said he hadn't seen Anna since New Year's Day and claimed she was called to Washington for a building emergency, though none were reported. He was calm and polite. Concerned, her coworker offered to check Anna's home. Outside, a wet espresso delivery box suggested Anna hadn't left recently. Brian said he couldn't access the home's cameras, but provided the garage code. Inside, everything appeared clean and undisturbed.
At this point?
No.
Besides the boxes, did you see anything as far as seats or anything like that?
Yeah, so I saw either a car seat or a stroller. I don't remember right now.
And now, inside the garage, besides these objects, did you see anything out of order, anything broken or anything like that?
No.
And was there anybody in the garage when you got there?
Was there anyone in the garage?
Yeah, is there any
No.
person in the garage?
No.
And now we're going to compete with the heat. So I'm going to ask you can keep your voice up. All right.
Yeah.
So were you able to get inside the house?
No.
Okay. Why couldn't you get inside the house from the garage?
I just turned the doorknob to see if that was unlocked, and it was in fact locked.
So now you can't get inside the house. Do you have any further conversations with Mr. Walshe?
Yes.
Okay. And by the way, how are you calling him?
My cell phone.
Okay. And so now I want to ask you about the third conversation.
Okay.
When did this occur?
Either at my home, I believe was the third conversation.
Okay. And so what happened at this? So what happened between not getting into the house to the third conversation?
So on my way up to the house, I had spoken with our global head of security,
Yes. Who's that?
Hugh Dunleavy.
Okay.
He,
I'm going to ask you not to tell us what you and Mr. Dunleavy talked about,
okay.
but that you had a conversation with Mr. Dunleavy.
Correct.
Okay. After the conversation with Mr. Dunleavy, what did you do?
I conferenced him into our call with Brian.
Okay. So now I want to ask you about that call. So did you conferenced Mr. Dunleavy into a call with Brian?
Correct.
So you'd already called Brian before getting Mr. Dunleavy on the call?
Yeah, I believe that was the second call, though.
Okay, the second call. So let me ask you about that second call, because I might have jumped ahead. With this conversation with Mr. Walshe, what was his demeanor like in the second conversation?
So when Hugh joined,
Prior to Mr. Dunleavy joining?
he was polite and calm and nice.
And what did you tell Mr. Walshe about bringing Mr. Dunleavy into this conversation?
I had said, Hugh is ex-Secret Service, and you'll be in great hands.
And what was his demeanor like at that point in time in the conversation?
He sounded like he was crying and said he needed a minute, and, very abruptly returned and said, okay.
And so at this point after that moment, what did you do as far as trying to conference in Mr. Dunleavy?
He was on the phone.
Okay. And so when Mr. Walshe was upset, was Mr. Dunleavy already on the call, or was it before he was on the call?
It was when he was on the call.
Okay. So that's when Mr. Walshe became upset, just so I have the timeline right?
Correct.
Okay. And what happened after Mr. Walshe composed himself in the conversation?
I believe Hugh and I started to ask him a series of questions.
Okay. Did you ask him anything about Anna's car?
Yes.
What did he tell you about Anna's car?
We asked the make and the model and the color He told us it was a gray Volkswagen Taos. We asked about the license plate. He did not know the license plate number. We asked if she had an easy pass. I don't recall
Okay.
what he said.
Did you ask him anything about the house itself?
I did. We asked him if he was on the deed or the mortgage, and if we call the police, if he would be able to grant permission to let someone in. And I believe he said he didn't know if he was on.
The garage appeared clean, just boxes and what looked like a stroller or car seat. No damage, no signs of a struggle, and no one inside. They couldn't enter the house. Every door was locked. A second call with Brian followed. When told a former Secret Service security chief was joining the call, Brian became emotional, then regained composure. He couldn't provide basic details about Anna's car and wasn't sure he was on the deed or mortgage, raising more questions and answers.
He did not know if he was on the deed, but believed Anna was on the mortgage, I think.
Okay. And so, did you ask him anything about how Anna traveled to D.C.?
I did.
What did he say?
So I had asked him myself without Hugh on our first conversation.
Yes.
When he told me that she had to leave for an emergency, and he told me she told him she was flying to D.C. And I had said on American, and he said American or JetBlue. I'm not sure which one.
During this conversation with you, Mr. Dunleavy and Mr. Walsh, what did you ask him about calling hospitals?
So back to the second conversation, Hugh and I again asked him how Anna typically came to DC.
Yes.
And at that point, he said he didn't know if she drove, train, flew. And I believe he said he thought she flew. Then, proceeding to ask questions, we asked if he has called any hospitals, and I let him know that I had asked someone in our DC office to call the local hospitals in DC, and she had called Sibley, Suburban, and GW, George Washington, and Anna was not there, and recommended he do the same in Boston.
And what did Mr. Dunleavy say to him? What was the conversation of calling the police?
Towards the end of the conversation, when we were going through what friends he may have reached out to, suggesting to call hospitals, Hugh had stated to hang up and call the police immediately.
And now, when was the next conversation with Mr. Walsh? Was this at your home?
Correct.
Okay. So this conversation with Mr. Dunleavy, this is part of conversation 2.
Correct.
Okay. So where did conversation 3 take place for you?
My dining room table?
Why did you go to your dining room table from the Walsh residence?
Sure. So after we hung up, I actually went to Starbucks first and called Hugh to say,
I'm not going to ask you what you said with Mr. Dunleavy. I apologize.
Right.
What I want to ask is more or less like your movements and where you went. So you went to Starbucks and you had a conversation with Mr. Dunleavy.
Correct.
Okay. Now, after having your conversation with Mr. Dunleavy, where did you go next?
My home.
Okay. Did anyone go with you to your home?
My coworker that drove me.
Okay. So then you're at your home. When is it, how long are you at home before you have your third conversation with Mr. Walsh?
So it was close to 1 p.m.
Okay. And what was the subject of this conversation? Can you tell us about it?
Yes. I can't recall. I know I spoke 4 times to him. I can't recall 3 or 4 if I called him or he called me, or if Hugh had asked me to call him.
Did he mention anything about filing a police report?
Yes.
What did he say?
So Brian called me to let me know that he had just hung up with the police and they were filing a police report.
And did he say anything about calling Anna's friends or acquaintances?
Yes.
What did he say?
He mentioned he called someone named Alyssa and someone named Amdullah or Abdullah.
Okay. What was his demeanor like in this phone call?
Polite, calm, the same.
The same. Mm-hmm. What did he mention about private investigators?
At the end of the conversation, he had said his mother wanted to hire a private investigator.
Overruled.
Okay. And then, now, did you have a 4th phone call with him?
I did.
And about what time do you think the 4th phone call was?
I don't recall.
That's okay. And do you have any memory of the 4th phone call?
Yes.
Okay. What's your memory of the 4th phone call?
Give me a second.
It's okay.
At some point, I know was to text him Hugh's phone number.
Okay.
I know we were talking about the hospitals, friends, private investigator. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know if the private investigator was on the 4th call or the 3rd, so we might have blended. Yeah.
Understandable. It's been 3 years. Now, ma'am, in addition to having phone calls, did you have any other ways of communicating with the person you thought to be Brian Walshe that day?
There were text messages.
There were text messages. Your Honor, may I approach with Exhibit 163?
You may.
Ma'am, can you take a look at Exhibit 163? It's 2-page. It's front and back.
Okay.
These early calls reveal the confusion and contradictions surrounding Anna Walshe's disappearance. Calm on the surface, but raising many questions beneath. Don't forget to subscribe for more updates and in-depth case analysis.
Yeah.
Do those appear to be your text messages between you and the number that you thought to be Brian Walshe's?
Yes.
If you could just say that into the microphone.
Yes.
Okay. So, when you were texting him, and he was texting you, there was a reference to, in the last text, are there Tishman Spire personnel at the Mazda building? Thanks. Did you respond to that text?
I did not.
So that was the last communication you had with Mr. Walshe?
Correct.
Now, were there any further phone calls after that?
After the January 5th text message? No.
Yeah, okay, exactly. So there's no further communication with Mr. Walshe after the January 5th text message?
Correct.
Had you ever talked to Anna Walshe about having the children in DC, her children in DC?
Yes.
What did she tell you about having her children in DC?
We talked a few times about it. I'd say the first time was when she was, taking the offer and moving. We
Yes.
would talk about different areas and schools. And And she had said that she would probably bring them down. I think the first time was in the summer, which made sense when they get out of school.
And was there a subsequent conversation about the children coming down after the summer?
Yeah, so I believe in the summer or at an event, we had chatted, and she had mentioned to me that they'd be coming down in September.
And were there any further conversations after September about the children moving down to D.C.?
No.
Okay. Now, after seeing Anna Walshe at the women's event for Tishman Spire in December, have you seen Anna Walshe since?
No.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Cross-exam?
Thank you.